How do I help my GF, 26, fulfill her desires of being with a woman without feeling like she's cheating? My GF and I, 30 meters, have been together just over a year. I knew she was bisexual in the beginning of our relationship, but it doesn't bother me. The thing is that recently she has been expressing she wants to be with women and always posts memes on Facebook about like how she's in love with all women and one man. I've talked to her about it and she says she doesn't feel like I'm holding her back, but that she really feels like she is lacking something by not being able to date women. She said her ex was cool with her sleeping with women, especially if he could watch, and it worked great, but to me, that seems like cheating. I am a very monogamous person and don't feel comfortable with her doing that. However, I love her and don't want her to feel held back. I've since found out about people who have found unicorns, aka a bisexual woman who has sex with the woman and man in a relationship or even dates both of them. To me this seems more appealing because it feels less like cheating and more like something we can share together. However, a lot of people seem to be actively against these unicorn hunters, so I am at a loss and don't even know where I would begin. I admit it also seems unfair to the unicorn if she can only have sex with both of us together while me and my GF have sex on our own. My GF is really into the idea of us finding a unicorn, however, and has started even asking her friends who are bisexual for threesomes, which makes me super uncomfortable and feels predatory. So what do I do? Is it time to let her go and be free to date women? I asked her this and she got very upset and said no, she loves me and wants to be with me. But then she continues to talk to her friends about how gay she is and posting those memes on her social media. Too long, didn't read. My GF wants to sleep with women and I'm unsure how to handle it respectfully in a way that doesn't hurt my feelings or any women involved. First off, I wanna say that this post seems super respectful. I honestly don't have very good advice to you, but as a bi woman myself I am super monogamous and it sounds like she just isn't. I think it's time you sit down with her for real and figure out what she wants, because it sounds like she wants to be in an open relationship at the very least and you aren't cool with that. Maybe it is time to break up, but only you guys can figure that out. Also, yes, unicorn hunting is gross, please don't do it. Speaking as a bi person, this is a whole dumpster fire. Wanting to sleep with someone else is wanting to sleep with someone else. Their gender doesn't matter. I'm missing sleeping W women is no different than I'm missing sleeping W redheads or I'm missing sleeping W bigger triple 10s. She agreed on monogamy. There is no special bisexual pass where she only needs to be monogamous with half the population. Either she wants a single stable relationship, or she should be upfront about wanting polyamory from the beginning. Polyamory where you date around 2. Bisexuals are still bisexuals while in a committed relationship. That doesn't change. Her dating you does not mean she's suddenly straight. She's always going to have attraction to both women and men, and she gets to deal with it exactly the same way every single other person who's in a committed relationship does. Sidestep entirely that this is about a bisexual woman wanting to sleep with women while dating a man. That isn't important. This is about you being monogamous and feeling that sleeping with people outside the dynamic is a form of cheating and, well, I think a lot of people find that a pretty standard boundary. You don't seem that interested in an open dynamic, and even the most convenient form of the dynamic is still upsetting to you. I think you need to get real about the fact that she is pursuing someone to do this with despite you not being fully on board. In my eyes, she is slowly cornering you, until the point you have a girl in your room and she will hit you with the well, it'd be rude to turn her down now surely, and then things are never the same again. She was in an open relationship before this. That is fine, but not what you are about. So maybe this just means you two aren't compatible. This has nothing to do with her being bisexual, but with her wanting to sleep with other people. It doesn't matter if they're women or men. If you both agreed to be in a monogamous relationship, there's no way that will work out. If you talk about it and decide to open your relationship, you have to be 100% sure about it. You don't have to do it because you feel pressured to. Honestly, she bringing up the stuff she did with her ex and how she wish you were more like him sounds manipulative and like she's pushing you to do it. I don't think that's right for you. It's a subjective matter, and if you feel it like cheating, then you won't stop feel it that way even if she try to twist it to convince yourself. You don't. No one should have you bend your moral compass. Giving in will only hurt you later. The relationship will not survive. May not anyway because you don't give in. It's not love when you're pushed to do something you don't believe in. Have been hiding my relationship for 3 years from my parents because I simply do not know how to open up to them and I am sick of it. I know from the title you all probably think I am crazy, and I kind of think so too. Basically I am 21 and my boyfriend is 22 and we have been in a very happy, committed relationship since I was 18. I love him more than anything and within our relationship there really are no major problems, of course the occasional fight, but nothing bad, and I am so proud to have him as my boyfriend. A lot of people assume I don't want to tell my parents because I'm ashamed of him or something, which is so beyond far from the truth. I genuinely think my parents would love him. All of my outside friends and even my siblings know about our relationship, as well as his family. The problem is, I have tried to muster up the courage to tell my parents for literally 3 years now, and it is so impossible for me. I actually spend quite a lot of time with my family, which makes it harder because too I'm literally living a lie. I also get along quite well with my parents, but they are very conservative and growing up we never talked about anything. Like literally nothing. I still am too ashamed to even buy a bra while shopping with my mom. Yes, at 21 years old. I love my parents, but the way I was raised has made me literally so embarrassed to bring up anything about my personal life. I have never talked to my parents about boys, friendships, or anything other than surface level stuff for the most part. Any sort of deep conversation that gets brought up makes me so uncomfortable to the point that I won't stop thinking about it for days. Long story short, this has caused me to hide a perfectly healthy relationship from them for 3 years. And I am absolutely exhausted. I am so done hiding this and I want my family's support, but I just do not know how to go about it. My boyfriend completely understands and is in no way upset with me for not telling them, yet he knows how proud I am to have him and everyone else in our lives know. He has suggested just calling my mom and telling her on the phone. But I live at college and fear that the embarrassment will haunt me and I will just avoid going home to see my parents in hopes that they never bring it up again, bringing me back to square one with some added, unnecessary trauma. My parents also never asked me about any relationship type stuff, so I am the one that will have to bring it up. Basically, I just really need advice on how to tell them. I'll get blackout drunk if I have to. I just cannot live 2 separate lives anymore. Thanksgiving is around the corner and it always hits me harder around the holidays because I want to spend my holidays with my BF and my family, but I can't if they don't know. I am truly begging for advice at this point, and yes, I have seen a therapist about this, didn't really help. TL/doctor, how do I tell my parents about a relationship I have been hiding for 3 years? Well, think of it this way. Your conservative parents met and got married and had a family. You're a woman in your 20s now. This is a perfectly normal age to have a serious boyfriend in your life. Even if your parents are rather repressed and don't like talking about anything to do with love, sex and relationships, they know that you're likely to find someone sooner or later. Have you thought about writing them a proper letter, rather than telling them over a phone call, which you say would embarrass you? You could say you wanted to tell them that you have a boyfriend and you haven't mentioned him before because you wanted to make sure things were serious before you introduced him to them. Then you can tell them about your boyfriend, his name, his age, where he's from, what he does, college or job, what his folks do. Tell them that he is kind and polite, caring, hard-working, whatever you think are appropriate things to share. End the letter by saying that he really wants to meet them, and you want that too. Perhaps just before Christmas would be a good time, as it's a bit late for Thanksgiving now, I assume. Good luck, I'm rooting for you both. Wow, it feels like I wrote this. I was in the same boat as you, except I hid mine for 6 to 7 months. not 3 years. I didn't know how to bring it up because I had never talked about things like that before. I ended up just inviting my mom to dinner, just me and her, and told her I was dating someone. It was absolutely terrifying leading up to it, but it was nothing overall. She loves my now fiance and they have a fantastic relationship. Nice to know someone else has a similar experience. It makes everything 10x easier once your family knows. This makes me feel so much better. I have never met anyone with a similar experience to mine. May I ask you how long it took for that initial awkwardness to go away, like after that first dinner? My fear is that awkwardness just will not go away. Mom, Dad, I have a boyfriend. Ah yes, those were the words I was looking for. My grandmother just died of COVID-19, and my friend 29F didn't seem to care, and didn't support me. 23F too long didn't read. My grandmother recently passed away of COVID-19 frown, and when I told my friend, she gave me a generic response and continued to complain about her relationship issues. Full story, I wrote to my friend that my grandmother died. She replied with "I'm sorry to hear that." After which I said, and I had a big fight with my mother. She also replied with an "I'm sorry for that." Then a few hours later she said that she broke up with her boyfriend and that she is feeling extremely sad. I told her I'm sorry for that and I didn't continue the conversation. Was I wrong to feel bad about her response? Did I forgive her cause she was feeling bad? Maybe I'm just overreacting because of grief, I don't know. Or maybe she is not thinking straight because she is going through her own problems. I just feel bad because I'm always supporting her through some problem. She is always breaking up with her boyfriend or having some sort of a meltdown where I'm there to support her, and now she isn't there, and still demanding more support at the same time. I also feel bad for her and want to support her, but I feel disrespected at the same time and can't seem to help her. Also, you shouldn't forget that some people are really bad at handling somebody else's deaths. I had a really strange situation in my friend group. As an example, dad of friend A dies rather unexpectedly while he's abroad. I tell friend B, they are extremely close, but she's dealing with some shit and has trouble speaking with people about dying loved ones. So she's trying to figure it out, without contacting friend A. He comes back after a few days and knows that I told friend B. At that point he's getting mad that she didn't contact him. After that, they didn't talk to each other for like half a year, which nearly broke their friendship. But in the end, they talked it out and she apologized and explained how she was just unable to handle the situation and talk to him about it or what to say. So don't judge her immediately, try to talk to her about it and tell her that you're hurting and in need of a comforting friend, especially her. Edit, grammar, fuck you autocorrect. I mean, it sucks to hear, but maybe she's bad at responding to people telling her about deaths. I give about that to someone who's lost someone, and I wish I could say something more meaningful, but I don't know how. She might have a lot on her mind, and too, who knows. I wouldn't take it too personally, just do things that remind you of your grandmother and things that make you happy. I'm sorry for your loss. Take care, op. Whilst the response was short and not very helpful, I wonder, have you spoken to that friend recently? Have you not spoken for a while? Also, many people are going through a lot mentally right now. I know personally I've had to explain to many people I'm a bit of a crappy friend right now. I'm finding lockdown and the pandemic very mentally overwhelming, and whilst I would normally offer to be the go-to therapist friend, I cannot facilitate that right now. Yes, their response was short for the severity of what you're going through emotionally, but I wouldn't take it personally. I'd maybe communicate with them at a later date and check in as to why they may have been short.